I didn't have a rough childhood in the home because my mum and dad lavished me with love because I was adopted. They adopted me, and but I had a rough childhood as like fighting was concerned because I just seemed to attract trouble all the time, and so I had a canny few fights when I was young. I used to get tortured by this bully. I was like 5 or 6, and one day he came to give us a good hiding again, and just someone came over me as to not to run, which he used to always do. And as he got near me, I just hit him with the right hand, bang! But I caught him right on the ear, and to see the pain and the shock in his face and the tears in his eyes, just turned round and walked away. You know, he was holding his ear, and I felt good, and I had stood there with my fists clenched, saying like, oh, I wanted more, come on. And he just walked away, and that was my first real fight, really. First got into boxing, watching Sports Night. Remember Sports Night, Harry Carpenter and all that. We were watching a guy called Dave Boy Green fighting John H. Stracey. What a tear up. He used to just come forward, fight to Dave Boy Green, bang, bang, bang. Just threw everything in but the kitchen sink. And it made an impression on me, Dave Boy Green. I'd have a couple of fights, packed in for 18 months or something. Do my own thing, always out and about with the lads fighting and this, that and the other, women, and then I'd go back to the gym and go back, do a bit of training, think, all right, I'll have a few more fights, and I'd get sidetracked again and go away and do my own thing. So, all in all, I fought in the ring all in all for 24 years on and off, from 79 to 03. I knew if you weren't 100% dedicated and you jumping in a fighting a pro for over 6-8 rounds or something, you're going to be ghost after 2 or 3. I used to be a punk when I was about 14, 13 and used to fight various people, bikers and all that crap. So I always had short hair, whether I was a punk rocker or whether I was a skinhead. I always had the cropped short hair look, and the denim jacket and the Dr. Martin boots.
Were you ever ended up on the losing side at that stage?
No. I lost. I think I was about 29 or 30 when the first time I lost, but that was the only time I lost because I fought the guy 3 times, and twice he was on. Well, third time he was on a life support machine. The second time he was on iron lung or something, keeping him going. Nearly died both times. But he didn't have to do damage to me in that first fight, like.
What was the street fighting like?
Brutal, very brutal. I'm very lucky enough not to be doing a life sentence, really. People swallowing tongues, and I bust one lad's jaw in 4 places with a couple of right hands. But I never ever caused any trouble. Trouble always used to seem to come my way, you know, all the time. Couldn't get away from it. I remember having an arranged fight when I was 9-year-old with a lad, and I met him outside some baths, you know, the public baths. Just threw 2 straight punches at him and just bust his nose. And then when the shock had got over it, he came back at me again, and I went bang, bang again. It just come natural to me to throw these punches. Bang, bang, bang. Smashed about 10 punches into his head, smashed him to bits, and that was him finished. It was all over.
I wouldn't like to be hitting the body with them.
Fucker. Oh, it's hard work, this fucker. Hard work. Fucking hell, man, I'll put some work in on. Very hard work. Diet.
How much weight have you lost, Rich?
Lost 2 stone. 20 stone, 2.
Do you feel better?
18 stone, I feel brilliant. Just got to push yourself. I had loads of fights on the doors, like, but I was always firm but fair, you know what I mean? Always firm but fair. But I had quite a few fights, especially when people are tanked up and they won't see the drinks off and stuff like that. You can give, but when you give them an inch, they always take a mile, so you've got to be firm with them. But once you start getting a bit too firm with them, they always run to the bobbies now.
How many fights do you think you've had?
Over my life, maybe it's about 150 altogether. Everything in, yeah. I know, like where Lenny McLean says he's had 5,000 and this, that and the other, it's just impossible. You just can't have that many fights. I've broke my hands about 10, 12 times.
And what would you say was your toughest fight?
Can't remember offhand, because once you start taking a few bats, you know, and your legs are gone and you're dizzy as a bat, and they're all tough when they're like that, aren't they? See, with me, I always had the ability to absorb a good punch, a really good punch. Well, look at that fight with Gary Marcel. I hadn't trained and I was full of flow, and I still got in there, and I took about 80 odd punches off him, and I was still there at the final bell.
Well, what do you remember about that fight? Because I mean, it was a real classic.
He was hitting me with everything but the kitchen sink. He can hit him like he can hit. I was full of cold and I couldn't breathe and I was weak, but I still got in and fought. I took the gamble. I thought I'll have a go in the first round and see if I can put him away. It was even round, but I'd shot me bolt really, because I was just too weak to land a big punch. So I really just survived in the other rounds. But I took a hell of a lot of punishment. If I'd have had some steam in my punches there, I'd have knocked them out.
You kind of almost turned it round, didn't you, in that third round?
Yeah. Did you see the amount of head punches I took before I turned them round though? The needle took my head off some of them shots, didn't they? And I was still on my feet and then just came back, bang, bang, bang. True warrior.
And as he comes in, fucking whack the call. And then back him.
Third and final round.
Right, we're going into the final round now, and Richy Horsley's under a lot of pressure. Marcel piling in the punches, but Horsley, he's still got the guts to stand there and trade with Marcel. It's not all over yet. Marcel piling on the pressure. Horsley looks like he's in trouble, but you can't put this warrior down. He's fighting back, punch for punch. He's turned Marcel, and now Marcel's on the road, taking a hell of a beating. Horsley back to his prime. What a warrior! This is classic unlicensed boxing. Richy Horsley, heart of a lion, born to fight. This man does not know when to give up. Marcel looks quite battered now, even though he's got a points lead. But he piles in for one last attack. It's a pile driver of a punch. But Horsley fighting toe to toe. This has got to be one of the greatest unlicensed boxing fights we have ever seen. Richy Horsley, Gary Marcel, classic unlicensed boxing. There goes the bell, and the crowd are standing up to see these two warriors who fought toe to toe. Richy Horsley, the end of a legend.
Phone calls to 26. Your winner, Gary Marcel. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you'd like to show your appreciation for a very bad loser, and Richy Horsley.
See Lenny McLean, yeah? He'd had 3,000 fights or 5,000 fights or something undefeated. Bullshit, right? But I'm not knocking him. He was a good fighter, hell of a fighter. I would have loved to have fought Lenny McLean in his prime, and me in his prime. It would have been a cracking fight. But I know for a fact I'd have beat him, because he can't take a punch as well I could. He couldn't absorb a punch like I could. Plus he wasn't a big puncher anyway, so I'd just soaked up what and then knocked him out. But what people don't really know about Lenny McLean is he had 12 unlicensed fights, lost 6, and got knocked out 5 times. And out the 5 times he got knocked out 3 times in the first round. But I'm not knocking the guy. I'm just saying, just stating a fact.
So I do hear that if Charlie Bronson comes out, that you're lined up as a possible opponent.
Yeah, well, that would be the only fight I would ever have again, because I'm, like I say, I'm retired now. I've done all that. But yeah, I would fight Bronson. It's going to be a good payday, and I wouldn't have to train that hard, really.
He awaits. You're the prey. He wants your brain. No wonder you're insane. Your soul's on fire. Your heart's ripped out. You're a cripple of madness. A zombie. The silence of the lamb. It's me. I'm behind you. Welcome to madness.
Well, what do you think your chances would be?
No, it's not that I wouldn't train that hard. I'd have to train hard for someone like him. And he's strong as a bull and he's fit as a lop. But I know for a fact I'd beat Bronson.
So how do you think that you will be remembered?
I've got an autobiography out, so long after my bones have turned to dust, people are going to still be able to read about me and my life, aren't they? I think I'll be remembered quite fondly, really, because the book is like a up and down story, and people can relate to the book, you know.
Any plans for the future?
Just take each day as it is. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. Got my nickname Crazy Horse because my name being Horsley and my interest in the American Indian. A lot of street fighting up and around in Hartlepool and North East, and that just tags seem to stick.
Fucking hell, I wouldn't like to get in the body with them.